y'all? Before we get started into the video, I just want to say you're probably going to see this face and this outfit and all this hair and everything in a couple of videos because I'm filming a lot of videos today, so that's what's up. So today's video is going to be another installment of my didn't know what to name it at first. If you guys remember quite a few videos back, I did like a worth it or waste it, take it or trash it, like it or leave it, bash it or buy it, whatever you want to call it, on the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. And basically what these videos are going to be is me kind of reviewing things that have been incredibly hyped up on YouTube. And if you remember from that video, I told you guys that the next video that I wanted to do was on Morphe brushes. So that's what we're going to do today. And as you can tell by the title, one of you guys suggested a like hit or shit type deal. So what I think I'm going to start calling these is hit or hyped up shit, because most of these videos are going to be directed at shit that's been hyped up on YouTube to see if it's kind of like worth it or not, you know what I mean? Because y'all know I tell you what's up and I keep it 100 and I don't really give a shit about telling the truth, I guess. I don't know. Not that I'm saying anybody else is lying. I'm just saying this is what's up. So let's get into it. So let me tell you guys a little bit of a backstory on Morphe brushes and the reason why it's taken me this long to jump on the YouTube train, as I like to call it, and order some Morphe shit. So the first time I heard of Morphe was from that girl Shay XO, and it was about 2 or maybe even 3 years ago. She used to use their eyeshadows and like rave on and on and on about them. So I was telling my friend about it, like, oh, have you ever heard of this company? This girl on YouTube says they're awesome. And she was like, yes, I have some of their brushes and I really like them. They're always at our hair shows, so next time I go to a hair show, I will get you something. So I was like, cool. And then, lo and behold, you know, Queen Jacqueline, the fucking Red Sea parted, and Queen Jacqueline mentioned Morphe brushes, and all hell broke loose, and everybody was all about Morphe. Morphe started creating affiliates with YouTubers, and y'all know the rest of the story. The reason why I was so surprised at the fact that Jaclyn Hill kind of like put her name on this and put her name behind this is because I remember a video way long ago, one of her, you know, earlier videos that she was talking about a drugstore product called the Tiki highlighter or bronzer or whatever from Hard Candy, and she said, I cannot use this because and I'm not trying to be a bitch and like throw anybody under the bus, but she said the reason I can't use this highlighter is because it has mineral oil and talc in it, and those are the first couple ingredients, and those ingredients are not the best for your skin, because she is like an ingredients person just like myself. I'm a total ingredients person. So I was super surprised when she kind of put her name behind this, because the first couple ingredients in Morphe shadows are talc and mineral oil. That is the first 2 ingredients when you look at the ingredients list. So if you are somebody that is super sensitive or have sensitive skin, or your eyes are very sensitive, you're probably not gonna like these shadows. I have sensitive eyes and they seem to be okay. I've been wearing this palette here for probably like a week now, maybe even 2, and it's been fine. So my friend was at a hair show and texted me one day while I was at work and was like, hey, that Morphe company's here, what do you want? I was like, I don't know, give me a brush set or something. So she's like, what do you want? They got 2 brush sets. You want the Sable set or the Beacon set? And I was like, which one's cheaper? So she ended up giving me the Sable set. And if you haven't seen my review on that, I will link it down below. I was completely just like not happy with that set whatsoever. It was an 18-piece set, and there were literally maybe 3 to 4 brushes out of that set that I actually liked, that did not shed on me, that were not pieces of crap. When I very first got the set, it was wrapped up. She didn't touch it, and when I took a brush and went like this, that happened. I don't know if you guys saw that because this brush is dirty, obviously, but I took the brush and went like that, and like shit came out of it, so it freaked me out a little bit. That was the first thing. And then they just shed constantly. This brush here is out of the set, this like angled face brush, and I can't even use it on my face because it sheds that much. Like, I feel like if I use this every day, it's going to shed down to the point where I can't even fucking use it at all because there ain't going to be nothing left. Like, it sheds so bad and leaves hair just like, I mean, it looks like a dog sat on my face after I use that brush. It sheds horribly. So having that experience completely turned me off from Morphe. Completely, like, as a whole. Like, I did not want anything to do with the eyeshadows. I didn't want anything to do with the brushes. I don't know why, maybe because I'm a stubborn bitch, but I was just like, everybody's lying, I don't care. And then slowly and surely I started seeing people that I actually do trust on YouTube talk about them, and it got to the point where I was like, I can't not buy something. A girl that I work with also buys, like, has a few brushes and a few palettes, and she said she loves them, so I was like, okay, let me just bite the big one and freaking do it. So I went on the Morphe website and spent about $70, and I got a few things. So let's talk about it. The first thing I got was the Morphe Brushes 35P palette. This is their, like, plum tone palette. Don't ask me why I got a cool tone palette, because I think I just had Kylie Jenner in mind, because as you can tell, let me get it to where you can actually see it. As you can tell, there's like a lot of like mauve-y, dusty tones in here, like dusty purples and dusty mauves, which I really, really like. And it's crazy because I seriously don't like the color purple that much. Like, I'm not a big purple eyeshadow person. I'm just not. I like warm tones. I like neutrals. And if I do like color, it's usually like greens or blues. It's normally not purples, because I don't know. I'm not that into purple. Okay. So when I seen this, I was like, ooh, these like mauve tones. I had just seen a look that Kylie Jenner had on her eyes that was like, oh, mauve and purpley looking, and I was like, yes, let me get that. So I went ahead and got this. It was $22.99, and my thoughts on this are as follows. This palette is badass. It is well worth the hype. It's very, very pigmented. The shadows they're not like super creamy like Lorac shadows or like Makeup Geek shadows. They're almost, some of them are, like this one here is pretty creamy. Some of the mattes are kind of like dry to the touch. However, they do put off a lot of pigment, as you can see. So there are the finger swatches, and then this is what the hell am I doing? Can you even see that? Yeah, you can. That's the hand swatch. So they're fairly pigmented. They're pretty blendable. Like, they blend out really well. So I got the palette, love the freaking palette. I'm probably going to order more eyeshadows, to be honest with you guys. Super stoked about that. The next thing that I got were a few brushes. So the first brush that I got was the infamous Morphe M439. I had to get this brush because I see Jacqueline talking about it. I see Manny MUA, Patrick Starr. My friend Make It Up with Samantha was like, if you get one brush, get that. So I had to get this because this really is the type of brush that I go for, is like a very densely packed brush for foundation application, because you guys know I like super full coverage, and a brush at this size is going to get that shit done fast. You know what I'm saying? So as far as this brush goes, I really like it. It's super soft. It reminds me a lot of the Sigma F82. Mine's dirty AF because I use it. The one thing that I will say though is that this one is not as densely packed as this one. So this one is better for kind of like stippling on there, whereas this one's better for kind of like buffing, if that makes sense. Like, this brush is so freaking dense, like it's like hard to separate the bristles, whereas this one is dense, but it's still like the bristles have a little bit more give, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The next one that I got is the M441, the infamous M441. Of course, I got all the brushes that everybody's talking about. This is basically just a fluffy crease brush that you use to kind of lay down like a transition shade or something like that. This is a really good brush. By the way, I have used and washed all these brushes. Obviously, I've used them. They're all dirty AF. But this one is a really good one too. It shed maybe 2 or 3 hairs when I very first got it, but after I washed it, it was fine. It didn't shed when I washed it. It was good. The next one is the infamous 433. This is said to be a dupe for the MAC 217, and I have my MAC 217. So this one's the 217. This one is the M433, and the 217 is It's a little bit wider and it kind of comes to a little bit more of a point. I don't even know if you guys are going to be able to tell. Let me do this. So if you can tell, like this one's the MAC one and it kind of tapers up like this, and then the Morphe one does taper, but not as much. So as far as this one being a dupe for the 217, I completely agree with that. A dupe is not something that's exactly the same, but this is the closest dupe to the MAC 217 that I have come across. And the price of this is, hold on, I got it here on my phone, $5.99. This, by the way, was $13.99, and this was $5.99. So $5.99, $5.99, $13.99. So as compared to the 217, that every time I go to a MAC, I have to buy a new one because I beat the hell out of my brushes and I just wear them down really quickly. I buy a new 217 for $23 every time I go to MAC, and this is $5.99 and it's just like it. I'm totally stoked, you guys. Like, yes! The next brush that I got was $3.99, and this one is the M562. There is a similar Sigma brush to this, and I saw that girl Shay XO say, oh my god, if you have hooded eyes, you need this particular Sigma brush. So I was like, ooh, let me try it in the Morphe. This one shed like 1 or 2 hairs when I first got it, but when I washed it, it was cool. The very last brush that I got was the Morphe E3, and this one was $16.99. This brush is part of their Elite series, and this is the newest craze on YouTube. Their Elite series are supposed to be like their best quality brushes. They are a little bit more expensive than standard brushes, obviously, because this one's $16.99 and this one was $13.99. This one is super, super soft. It has not shed 1 hair since I've gotten it, and I've washed it, I've used it. It's awesome. The one thing I will say about this is, the only thing I will say about this is that it's a lot smaller than what it looked like online, if you catch my drift. Like when I seen it online, I've been wanting a tulip brush for a long time, and I didn't want to pay like $43 for the MAC one. So I was like, ooh, let me get this. I assumed that this was like the size of this, like the size of this Real Techniques brush. And it's just a little bit smaller. So I like to use this for a blush brush. I freaking love this brush. It's really good quality. Like I said, it hasn't shed. As far as longevity, obviously I can't really say because I've only owned these brushes for a couple of weeks. But from then until now, I absolutely love them. So those are like all the pros. The only cons that I have about this is, first off, it took almost a whole entire month for me to get my order. So I ordered my stuff on August 31st, and it wasn't even shipped out until September 10th. So it took 10 days for processing. Like, that seems a little excessive. It took me almost 3 weeks to get my stuff, which is not cool, and is like a huge reason why I hate ordering shit online, because of like instant gratification. I don't like to wait for shit. Yeah, so waiting for it was kind of like, come on, come on, come on. And I understand with everybody raving about the 3500 and whatever else, they're probably a lot busier now. But I don't know. It just kind of irked me that I was like, god damn, now I gotta wait 3 weeks. What the hell? Like, I hate freaking waiting. That's just me. I just hate to wait. But I will say, in conjunction with that, it was worth the wait for the price. You know what I mean? Because I got a 28 eyeshadow palette and 5 brushes for $70, and you can't beat that. So the last thing that I will say that is a con is that although the bristles and the functionality and everything else of the brushes is awesome, they are like a little bit cheaply made, which obviously, I mean, they're cheap brushes. They're going to be cheaply made. And what I mean by that is they are very light. They're not weighted. If you've ever owned like a professional grade brush, like a MAC brush or a Hakuhodo brush, you know that those brushes are weighted. And these are not, which, you know, is like whatever, unless you're like some snooty ass professional. Then, not that I'm saying that all professionals are snooty bitches, but y'all catch my drift. Unless you are somebody that is very, very meticulous about your brushes and about the weight of your brushes, then it's probably not even going to bother you. But I will say that the Elite series brushes are a lot more weighted than what the standard brushes are. Like this brush weighs more than this brush, and this brush is a lot bigger. So the Elite brushes are a lot higher quality than the rest of their brushes, in my opinion. That's my thoughts on Morphe. I'm super excited. I kind of wish I wouldn't have been such a stubborn asshole and kind of jumped on the train sooner, because I really do like the stuff, and I think I'm gonna go on and order some more shit. So if you guys have any Morphe brushes or Morphe palettes or anything like that that you are just elated over and you think a bitch needs to try, then go ahead and leave them in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about their brushes and their eyeshadows. And that, I believe, is it for this video, y'all. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you are not. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or Snapchat if you please, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace!